about? Hey, don't you miss being in Amsterdam for the opening of the DevDays?
Oh, you know, Amsterdam, Europe, the US. I think we nailed it with fire. Community is there, technology is there. They'll be fine. But look here. This is the next frontier. Burma, Vietnam, Laos. What we need to do to get healthcare and interoperability. Right here at this place. No, here we're cowboys again. Here's the real work. So, no, I don't miss Amsterdam.
But what about the opening then?
Well, you know, we found a real good guy to do the opening. A giant, a veteran of the first day, and someone who's been here in Vietnam, by the way. Already looking at what we can do here in Vietnam. Someone who can easily take my place. So, take it away, James. We're on a road to nowhere. Come on inside. Taking that road to nowhere. We'll take our time. I wanna ride to nowhere. We're on a road to nowhere. Come on inside. Taking that ride to nowhere. We'll take that ride. Feeling okay this morning, and you know we're on a road to paradise. Here we go, here we go. We're on a ride to nowhere. Come on inside.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a fire veteran, our very own Mr. Happy, James Agnew.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to DevDays, everybody. Oh, what a fun event this is. So before we say anything else, I don't know if everybody realizes what we just watched in that video. Ewout Kramer, who is of course the CTO at Firely, is on vacation, right? He's on sabbatical rather. Cycling all the way from southern China, all the way through Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, through to the south of Vietnam as we speak, which has to be the most Dutch holiday I've ever heard of. Absolutely incredible. So he asked if I would fill in, and why not? Welcome to the DevDays event. These events are amazing. I think we all have to agree. If the fire community, this massive community we're all a part of, if that community has a soul, then here in Amsterdam, here at this event, clearly that is that soul. So I'm super excited that we're all here to be a part of that. It's going to be fun. I am going to talk for the next 15 minutes, give you guys a little sense of what this event is about and all of that, and then we'll get on to the more exciting stuff, which is the core business of our meeting. Let's start with a show of hands. Who here is a first-time attendee of DevDays? Who's at their first event? All right, about half the room maybe. Yeah, amazing, amazing. I'm going to give you a rundown on what this whole event is about. There is absolutely a ton of stuff going on over the next 3 days. This is, of course, the 6th edition of DevDays here in Amsterdam. These have been going on since 2014. There have been 2 US events, and these are now biannual events happening once in Europe and once in the US every year. We have got 78 speakers lined up, which is an incredible number of speakers. And most importantly, I spent a bunch of time looking through the speakers list, and one thing really jumped out at me, and that's the fact that So many of these speakers I've gotten to know over the years because they've been regular attendees at these events. The way this whole event kind of tends to play out is that people come, they see what's going on, they realize what a big, welcoming, open community this whole thing is, and they realize there's something they'd like to be working on themselves. Like, they realize there's a gap that the community has that they themselves could fill, and they start working on that thing, and then they realize that something would be interesting about what they're doing to other people, and they come and they present, they tell their story here at the DevDays event. That's how we've all sort of ended up a part of this crazy community. So I bet you a whole bunch of the people who put their hands up earlier, you'll probably be speakers at a future one of these events. That seems to be how this all goes. Super cool. We have 120 sessions. We've got 442 participants. It doesn't even look like that many from up here, but it's probably the lights, who knows. 32 countries and 190 organizations represented. How cool is that? I'm gonna start here by talking a little bit about where this whole thing comes from. Back in 2014, the very first DevDays event that ever happens, I was lucky enough to be there. I wish I'd taken more photos. I'm a terrible photographer. These days we've got real photographers, and you'll see him over at the side doing his thing. But I took this awful photo. This is the very first DevDays, and I think that's about a quarter of the attendees I managed to capture. So what a ways we've come. Keen-eyed observers will recognize that as the old Furore offices, and I understand that as of yesterday they've moved into the B building across the street, so congratulations to Firely on that. So how does this event work for anyone who's new here? A couple of key points. There are tons of sessions going on concurrently. We have got at least 5 different rooms, and for a great part of the schedule, all 5 rooms are going with super interesting topics. So, I mean, there is not a chance that you're going to get to see every single presentation live while you're here, and that's awesome. It does mean that you're going to have to spend some time thinking about what you're interested in, what you specifically want to see. So spend some time going through the schedule and figuring that stuff out. You're going to have tons of opportunity to network with other people. And this, of course, is a community of implementers. So the people you're networking with, you're not trying to build business synergies and stuff like that. You're making friends with people that when you've got problems, you can talk to. So fun stuff. There are also tons of surprises. One thing that Firely do amazingly at these events, they certainly continue to surprise us with crazy things that come along. There is no printed program. I will point this out. There is an app. I'm going to give you details in a moment on how you get the app so that you can create your own schedule. The schedule is also published online. I have got a little printout here. I love this grid. I will probably refer to it 1,000 times over the next 3 days myself. It's jam-packed with good stuff. In terms of what's going to go on over the next couple of days, you'll notice the legend. You'll see it in the app. You'll see it on the website. Tons of good stuff. Pay attention to sort of what the types of sessions are. We've got keynotes, which are, of course, the great big sessions out here in the main space. We've got tutorials, which are, that's the bread and butter of this event. That's the learning sessions. We've got build sessions, which are hands-on keyboard. A bunch of those are even going to happen out here, and we've got tables set out so that people can sit with laptops, with power, and build stuff together. We've got community projects, which is people from the community coming and showing us what they're doing. We've got birds of a feather. This is a term that comes from the main HL7 working group meetings. Birds of a feather are chances for people with sort of a common interest to get together and talk about. Some sort of hot topic, some sort of emerging issue, some sort of emerging technology, that type of thing. Lots of good stuff there. We've got the startup track, we've got the student track. I want to give a special shout out to the student track. I would totally encourage you to come and watch the student presentations. They're always head-to-head with all kinds of other interesting things, and I know it sucks to miss any tutorial for that, but man, is it fun watching the students do their thing. And of course, we've got Meet and Code, which is, lots of opportunity to chat with your fellow developers. This is a floor plan for this area. It's pretty easy. This is not a terribly complicated venue. All of the rooms are named after sort of famous thinkers, famous speakers, famous creative people, that type of thing. The room we're all in right now, which Ewout always makes us try and pronounce, and I will not try and butcher it, the Wiekert or something like that. I assume he's probably a Dutch famous speaker. I'm going to figure that out after this, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But we've got the Richard, the Mohammed, the Chris, the Vincent, the Oprah, and the Steve. All of those rooms will be off to the side, the direction I'm pointing, my right, your left. There are entrances over there to those rooms. We've got a lounge area, which is over in the back, sort of straight back and to the right. There's loads of area back there where you can sit, chat, have a seat on a couch, have a conversation, have a coffee, that type of thing. If you're looking for the toilets, they are in the back corner on my left, your right, sort of way back there. Yeah, I think that's all we need to say about that. There is also a second floor this year. So to anyone who's been in this venue before, you probably have not been upstairs. I got a tour of it yesterday, and that was my first time up there. We've got two rooms up there, one called the Freddy, one called the Elon. The way that you get to the second floor is to go all the way back to the very back of the building. There is a lift back there. There's also stairs right next to the restroom, and those will take you straight up. The Freddy is a room, incidentally, for breakout. We're going to use it for birds of a feather sessions, and man, is it a neat room. Just wait till you see what's up there. Even if you don't go to a session, go check out what's upstairs. It's very cool stuff up there. Food is going to be served buffet style. We have food sort of right around noontime every day. It'll be served at the back on tables, like on buffet tables. If you are a vegetarian, as I am, don't worry, we've taken good care of you. Right at the very straight back of this room, there is one table that will have the vegetarian buffet. If you have other special dietary needs, don't worry about it. We've got you covered. Ask the catering crew. You'll see them sort of milling around the buffet area. Lots of stuff there. The conference app, which I'm suddenly realizing I chose a terrible color to put here for that. eventmobi.com/devdays2019. You can connect to that. You can create your own customized schedule. We're also going to have the opportunity for you to review the sessions after they're done. So do create an account and go on there. It's well worth it. It's really hard to stay organized during this event. You will thank yourself later if you've got an organized schedule on the EventMobi site. Other stuff worth mentioning. If you are planning on leaving this area and going and seeing the rest of the city, and I would totally recommend you do that, ask at the back for basically a complimentary ticket to take the entire transit system around here. I come every year, and I marvel at how easy it is to get around this city. It's just incredible, honestly. There's a tram just outside. There's a metro stop about a block from here. Either of those options will take you straight into the city center, right to the central station. There is all kinds of fun stuff around there. So do take some time to go check out the city. Tonight might be a great opportunity to do that because there's good stuff coming up tomorrow night. We'll talk about that later. If you have a hot topic you think would be interesting to others and would like to organize a Birds of a Feather session, this happens every year tons, and they're always really cool sessions. Go back to the registration desk right where you came in and talk to them. They will put you on the schedule and book you a room for that. Do take advantage. As I say, the Freddy room where they'll book you is really neat. So worth doing for sure. Some neat stuff going on. We have a new track this year called the Patient Track. This is going to be, I think, really neat. An often forgotten sort of segment of, an often forgotten aspect of healthcare within these sessions, of course, is the patient themselves. We're all interested in the computers and all of that stuff, but we need to spend a minute thinking about the actual people consuming healthcare because, of course, we're all patients at some point in our lives. The patient track goes on this afternoon, and I would totally recommend watching the pitch competition. I don't know where Dave DeBronkart is, but man, he's done there he is. Dave is the lead for the patient track, and oh, right, no, it is. You're right. So you're a judge. That's the deal, right? Dave is judging the patient track. I should probably have these details down proper. Oh well. One other note while I'm on the subject of interesting things going on. We are, of course, all concerned about, we're flying around, going to conferences, doing that type of thing, and worrying about the carbon emissions that go with all of that. Firely, for years, have been doing this very generous thing, actually, where they try and sort of offset the carbon emissions caused by an event like this by planting trees. Very noble concept. I would love to encourage everyone here to visit the registration desk and buy a tree. For every tree you buy, Firely will buy one in turn. Those get planted, I believe, at least I know this was the case last year, in an area just to the outside of Amsterdam. Well worth doing, for sure. Oh, this is the best. We have got a number of sort of relaxing sessions. Do take advantage of this stuff. We've got chair massage going on. We've got chair yoga. We've got something called Hip Series. I don't even know what that is, but I'm sure it's awesome. All of this goes on in a room that is just to the far side called the Opera, just around the corner over there. Do take advantage of this stuff. It's awesome to come out of this event feeling a little bit more relaxed. Thank you, of course, to all of our sponsors. We've got tons of them. I won't list them all. You can see them on the slides. An event like this is not cheap to put on, and I will tell you by the end of this, you're going to realize all of the expense that has been put into this event. It's phenomenal, the amount of things that go on here. And of course, we do greatly appreciate our sponsors who help to make all of that stuff happen. Speaking of our sponsors, a couple of them have booths at the back. We've got two startups you may have not heard of, Google and Microsoft. I'm not familiar with either of these companies. I assume they are here in the Netherlands somewhere. And then, of course, we've got Firely. I'm kidding, of course. We've got Firely, who've got a booth back in the lounge. I would recommend stopping by there. If you've ever seen one of their cheat sheets that gives you a little overview of all the stuff that goes on with Fire, those cheat sheets, I always take 10 back to the office, and don't tell them I take so many, but they're super useful things. They have also got a mountain of stroopwafels, and you cannot say that you've been to the Netherlands if you don't have a stroopwafel while you're here. Take a jar back with you. I always take one or two of those back, and they're gone before I even get one from my own office. Your coworkers will love you if you come back from this place with a tin of stroopwafels. Evenings. So we will be here until 8 p.m., 2000, or however you pronounce that, today. I believe there's pizza coming late in the day, and there will be people coding. Probably right here in this room, right until the end of the day. There will be drinks. There will also be people no longer coding, but socializing. It is a good time, so you don't have to stay, but I would recommend it. It's good times around here. More importantly, tomorrow we've got a social event. The social event this year, this is probably the thing I look forward to the most, because every year it's something wacky. This year we are going to an outdoor pop-up skating rink outside the Rijksmuseum, which is over down in the city center. This promises to be a ton of fun. I will say you're not required to skate. I'm Canadian. I'm required to say that everybody loves skating. I have to admit, I cannot stand skating. I've got all these awful memories growing up of having ill-fitting skates that made my feet hurt. I think many Canadians share that same perspective. I'll probably try anyway and fall over, and you guys can laugh at my miserable experience. That's cool. Bottom line, come to the social event. It is going to be a good time. Definitely don't feel like if you don't want to skate, it's not going to be fun. It will be fun either way. That will be awesome. And Friday, of course, you've got the evening off. That's probably a great opportunity to go into the city center and check out the fun that's going on around there. The schedule here is fluid, of course. Do keep an eye on the Event Mobi site, as well as announcements every morning. We will probably do a bunch of repeat sessions. This happens every time these days because the event is so big. There are sessions which are just so popular that not everybody was even able to get into the room. So we will do repeats of those sessions. We will also be scheduling impromptu birds of a feather sessions. So pay attention to the schedule. There's lots of stuff you'll want to see. We will also say that there are recordings happening of every single one of these sessions. So at some point after DevDays, A video link will be made available to all of the participants where you can check out recordings of all of the sessions you did not get to attend. I will warn you, it takes a little bit of time to video edit and everything. I know every year, the second Dev Days is over, everybody wants to see the videos now. Give them a bit of time. They do have to get everything prepared, so it doesn't happen right away. But there will be recordings. And finally, that's it. Before we do anything else, one other thing I'm going to point out. All the Firely people in the room, can I ask you all to stand up for a moment? Lovely, there we go. So first off, round of applause for our gracious hosts who have knocked it out of the park yet again this year organizing this event. You'll notice they're all wearing yellow polo shirts. If you've got questions, if you've got comments, if you're not sure where you should be, if you've got complaints about how boring this keynote was or any other thing was, have a chat with anyone you find in a yellow sweater. They're all really interesting people. They would love to hear from you. So there we go. Let's go have a good time. Thank you, everyone.